Hello, hello everyone. Yeah, you're damn right, Michael. It is reaping time. It's time for more Reaper drawing stream. I'm a little bit exhausted already. You can tell. Yeah, it's normally very easy to tell when I start a stream and I'm already just fucking zonked. You know what it is? I spent like all of this morning editing a video. Well, not even like editing an entire video, just editing the second half of a video that just so happened to be quite long and tedious. Or at least the editing was long and tedious. The video itself is only like 25 minutes. But that'll be something for this week. It's a fun video. Thinking maybe I'll draw the thumbnail to that too. I kind of generally have something in mind that I could do for a thumbnail, and honestly hardly ever draw my thumbnails. The closest I get is like, you know, drawing the icon and the end screen and stuff like that. But maybe some drawn thumbnails would be kind of nice, cause I like it when other channels draw their thumbnails. I think maybe it's more visually appealing that way. But I don't know. You can certainly, it certainly takes more time to do the thumbnails when you're doing them that way. Which I guess is why most people would not do that. Would opt out of that. But yeah, so we got a new Reaper page that we can doodle. So let me pull that up, and yeah, I thought this would be a nice and easy page that I could totally get done in one stream. And now I'm thinking I want to go to bed, so maybe this will be a relatively slow stream. Editing that one video really just took a lot out of me. Ugh, that's like my whole day. It's just gone. But yeah, here's the page. Fairly simple one-panel page. I'm actually not quite sure if I'll have the box be like this. Probably just make it a full pager rather than, because like what's the point of cutting it off there? There's no point. You might as well make it a full pager. But yes, we've got a damsel in distress. Exciting, right? Big titty waifu confirmed for Reaper Book 2. Now I can stop hearing complaints of there being no big titty waifus in Reaper. We've done it. We've fixed one of the issues already. Aren't you happy? Ugh, people making noise. Anyway, so the page leading up to this, I had to also show you because it's not a finished page, but I figure I should show it beforehand just to give some humorous context. She literally just pops in while they're dealing with a monster. It's humorous. It's also, it perfectly illustrates how I shoehorned in this character. So you see, there's layers. But I think you'll be happy with the cute waifu. I gotta fix these panels, of course. Her arms are all messed up. But other than that, yeah. Adorable. We must save her from the monster. And that's what whatever. Yes. Hang on, let me go to my other screen. How to Draw Comic Books by Dan Lawlis. Dan's in the chat. Hi, Dannphan. I'm around if you'd like me to pop in. Yeah, you can pop in whenever you want. well and good. For those of you who don't know, we got a art tuber, or is that what they call them? The channels that like teach you how to draw and stuff, specializing in how to draw comics type stuff. Very useful since a lot of comics channels have essentially turned to drama. You know how it is. I know what you're thinking, oh Dannphan, why don't you do how to draw stuff? Well, because, you see, I'm not good. And that's that. Man, I'm exhausted. It's been nice weather outside, too. I was honestly thinking going for a walk after this. I like to get my exercise in, naturally. Good for your brain. Never under the walk. Oh, there's Dan. Alright, let's add him to stage. What's up, man?
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So,
Hey, did you see, I put up a tutorial just recently on how to draw an anime face. And then I got really criticized. I said, that's not anime, you know?
I did see that, and the first thing I thought when I saw the thumbnail is, that's not anime.
Yeah, exactly. But I could show you. I redid it. And see what you think. Hang on a second. So it's more anime anyways. Let's see. Okay, if you can share that, tell me what you think.
Ah, yeah. Okay, let me see. Where's my mouse? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, I gotta remove something.
Okay. So the one on the left is the new one. Like the one on the right, that was the original. And, you know, as you can see, I draw, you know, I mean, I'm a traditional artist, you know, traditional painter kind of artist. And so, but like I said, the eyes are too small. But I think the one on the left is, I mean, more anime, don't you think? I mean...
That's definitely more anime, yes.
Yeah, it's not there yet. I know what you mean. When you say anime, you go all in. Like, you're the giant eyes and...
Yeah, I like the cartoony, expressive style.
Exactly. But you know, there is like an in-between. Have you seen, like, I mean, there are guys who do kind of have, they do nice illustrations that are, you know, they have big eyes, but I mean, what is anime in a way? It's kind of, I mean, I know what traditionally it is, but you know how there's this sort of a gap that's being bridged between these new really, like, realistically drawing artists and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess there is just kind of a general spectrum of what people classify as anime, because even within anime, there's a bunch of different artists drawing different styles. They're just like kind of varied in very slight degrees. But I think what you got going on here with the left image, this could pass for something that I could see in like maybe Ghost in the Shell, or well, a much light-hearted Ghost in the Shell, but something of that kind of style.
Yeah, exactly. That it's I mean, it's bigger eyes and that sort of thing. So.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I tell you what though, it's actually uncomfortable for me to draw that way. It's when I went in, I just went in with my Photoshop and selection tool and all that kind of stuff, and I, you know, made things bigger and stuff like that. And then when I looked at it, like, it's too cutesy, you know, like, you know, I don't mind drawing a young woman, but it's just like drawing them like really cutesy. It's kind of goes, you know. So.
Yeah, sometimes it's really difficult just to, like, turn away from your own habits and try to draw a different style.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about my nature. There's like to, you know, it feels like I'm drawing cutesy stuff, whereas I'm kind of like, you know, I draw Conan and all this, you know, that sort of thing. And, you know, usually I draw, when you think about it, I really draw mostly men. I don't really draw women that much, you know, so.
Well, in comics, pretty well, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, you got to draw everything, obviously, and but I like just the traditional, standard, the masculine male and the feminine female, that sort of thing, and I
Oh yeah.
think that's what I kind of grew up with, and I think it's fine. It's super, like that's people are like, oh, your beauty standards and stuff like that. I'm like, well, it's that's what super stuff is, and I don't want to see a comic book with me, and like, I want a guy who's like built like a tank, and like so.
Nah, I hear you. I mean, like, it's a art form all about visually, so you got to put what you like on there.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have a couple of books, right? You the anime stuff, right? So how are you enjoying selling those? Are they selling well or?
Well, fairly well considering that I'm kind of a nobody just making YouTube videos, trying to go at the indie scene.
Yeah, but that's the thing that's so great is anybody can do this now. You have access because before you had to go through the distributors and go through the comic shops. Now, I mean, I'm really excited about all the I'm kind of part of the Comics Gate guys and all this new independent movement and the idea that you can make it yourself, you can write it yourself, you can print it yourself with nobody else. There's no more overseer, editor or anything between you and the artists. I mean, and the reader. It's fantastic. I mean, I'm predicting to see some really cool comic books, and it's going to come from, I think, like the YouTube and everyone out there, just ordinary people drawing and learn how to draw, and next thing you know, takes off. You get an idea,
Yeah, I sure hope so. I'd like there to be another, like, indie boom, because there was kind of one, maybe like 2019 and 2020, where a lot of people were backing campaigns. And then it kind of downslided, and I'm sure that the economy also has a part to play in that, but I'm kind of hoping that it's going to take another upturn.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think it really, in the end, quality wins. So if you have something really, really good, it will find an audience, which means, of course, just a lot of work. It's like I've been doing this for, let's see, about 37 years. So I got my first job at Marvel at 87. So
Yeah.
I was in comics from 87 to 97, and then I need to make money. so I went into advertising, where it's where I am now. But I still love comics. It's still in my blood,
Right. It's just
So-
a matter of, like, trying to figure out how to make it work and get the people on board with you.
Well, can I see what you're working on there? Or?
Sure. Let me just
Okay.
pull this up real first. Michael saying, "Holy crap! It's Dan Lawlis on the Dannphan channel." Hello, Dan.
Oh, hi. Do I know him?
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know. Maybe he's watched some of your videos before.
Okay, good. Yeah, actually, I am putting out a lot of tutorials, and I'm getting good reviews. Because I don't know,
That's awesome.
I think I have a good delivery, and I mean, I explain it pretty clearly. I try to think when I'm drawing, like how am I thinking, and how can I communicate that to the artists out there, show them what I do, and so pretty happy with the results so far. But the only problem is I only have so much content, it's like
Yeah, well,
if
I took a look at your like channel, and your live streams actually do very well considering.
okay. Yeah, I don't do enough of them. That's the thing is, so.
Yeah, but I hear it all the time that people have, like, a lot of trouble sometimes keeping people engaged during a live stream. So it's actually very good to get, like, a good consistent viewership on.
Yeah. So I mean, I got a lot because I am part of also that the Graybeard show. It's a Wednesday show, and we're all like old guys, and we draw something every week, and it's fun. So I think there's some whatever residual from that, and
Yeah, some
that's what's kind of.
crossover.
Yeah, that's why actually I contacted you. I thought, hey, let's I should contact you. I know you. I've known you for a while online here. I know you're sympathetic to conservatives a little bit, which is kind of a big deal to me, and so that you're also an artist, and it's kind of in the art field, how it is, so it's kind of
Yeah.
a little intense out there right now,
Yeah, everybody's always
You went out for a second there, by the way.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying that people get all wound up over nothing sometimes.
I think so too. Yeah, everybody needs to just chill, you know.
Yeah.
So, do you like how did you get into the anime? Was this just something you liked when you were younger, or did you get into it recently?
Oh yeah. Well, I grew up with it, so I did like find it at a fairly young, and I always enjoyed it. It's probably like the majority of comics that I would read were manga for a long time. And I was always kind of attracted to the art style, naturally, which is why my own art style ended up following that route.
Yes, of course. Now, would you consider like Akira and Lone Wolf and Cub anime?
Well, I don't know the second one, but I do know Akira, and I would consider that anime.
Okay. Yeah, because that's only really I didn't collect much, mainly Western comics and that, but I loved Akira. I thought it was great, and I love the storytelling. And actually, you're familiar with Frank Miller, right? And The Dark Knight and all that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so he was heavily influenced by by Akira, but especially now I mentioned Lone Wolf and Cub. That's pretty popular in Japan, and they made a movie out of it, and but he was influenced heavily by that type of storytelling where you have panels that are silent and that sort of thing, and a lot of panels that are more cinematic, and that's what he brought. He brought that to American comics, along with Mobius. That was another from the French scene. They both did those kind of sort of sequential frames that kind of gave you that sense of time passing that you get in anime now. That's very common, And I think I like it better. I like it. I think it's a better storytelling technique than the American comics. So I think its influence has been good.
Yeah, honestly, I really love like slow pace, big panel type of storytelling. Because it gives me time to like really appreciate all the art that I'm viewing instead of reading everything super quick and just passing everything over.
Yeah. But also the extra panels, doesn't it sort of give you more of a sense of time passing? I feel like as like when you're reading, it's like beats from panel to panel to panel, and when you have packed with words kind of panels, it's more just like a novel, not really like a real cinematic experience that you get when you have these extra panels just with nothing on them. Sometimes
I blinked out for a second there.
Oh, did you hear what I said, or? Are you hearing me? Or?
Yeah, now I am.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
I
I don't know what you didn't hear me say, but.
Yeah, I think my internet just like blinked out for a bit.
So how old is your channel? I'm kind of curious.
How old? Well, it's one of those things where like you make the channel when you're like a kid, basically.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of videos. But
Are you cutting out again?
years
I'm
or
sorry.
something like that.
Yeah, you dropped out for a second too.
Oh, I was saying like probably around 10 years.
Wow, that long. Whoa. Okay. Has it been something where you had it for a while and then it all of a sudden had an explosion or something like that, or?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's one of those things where like you turn from just making videos every now and then for fun to like actively making videos, and then that's when you start to see like more of a boom online, I guess.
Did you have something go viral? Is that what happened too, or?
I've had a couple videos generally go viral. Not like in the millions or anything, but like a couple videos that go up to like 100,000. Actually,
Wow,
I
okay.
did have one video hit over 1 million.
Really?
And it was not a video with me even in it. It was just a like joke video of Serena Williams with
Really?
some like Curb Your Serena Williams video. I didn't get any money from it because I didn't have rights to the song, but
Oh.
that's the one video that like I think went over 1 million.
Wow. Okay.
Anything else on the channel, I did it as a joke.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind
Now,
of funny how that stuff works out.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like, okay, so how did I come across you? The algorithm suggested you, so like Eric July and some of these other guys, it's like it just pops up. So you must have gotten some pretty good views on certain things, right, for them to do that. Are you there?
And they also tend to watch other channels that are vaguely related.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that'd be the case too. Sure. So what? I'm curious now. What do you use? What are you working on here? What? Do you have a Wacom tablet?
What?
A Wacom tablet, whatever you call it.
Oh, I've got I used to have one of those. Now I have the XP pen, which is kind of like just one of the Chinese brands.
Okay. Because I remember seeing a video, a video of yours where the thing got all scratched up.
Yes, that it came in the mail like that. It was
came in there. Okay. Well, mine didn't, but mine did get kind of scratched up over time, and it's kind of I don't understand why the surface is not, or why I can't replace the surface with because I have the what do you call the I forget what this Wacom one is called, but it wasn't the top one. But it's still pretty good. But the funny thing is, I grew up using I was introduced by using the regular tablet where I'm looking up at the screen, like I'm looking up here and I'm drawing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got this thing, I found it was the strangest experience where, like, I'm drawing like this, my hand's in the way. I can't see what I'm doing. Like, trying to look at the tablet. I got used to looking up at the screen, and so what I actually find most comfortable is I mirror my like right now I'm mirroring my screen. So I can look up here and I can look down here. When I'm doing sort of a stroke or something like that, I'll look down here on the tablet. But when I want to see something more precise, I'm looking up and I usually work looking up. Like if you see my tutorials, I'm always looking up at the screen, and I use it almost the old-fashioned way, which is kind of what I got used to.
Yeah, I've seen some other artists say that too. It is pretty interesting because I've definitely had moments like those where I'm like, my hand's in the way. How can I possibly draw like this?
Yeah. Or another funny experience I've had where I'm drawing traditionally on a piece of paper and I make a mistake and I go like, I just want to undo that. Wait a minute, where's my undo button? I don't have it.
Yeah, I feel my hand like going over to where the undo would be, but I'm just like touching desk. It doesn't make any sense. So what
exactly are you working on? Because I saw when I first popped in, you had a image of someone. Is this a close up of the image of the werewolf chasing the woman?
But classic damsel in distress running away from monster.
Right, I'm saying are you close up on now what I just saw when I first popped in the stream? Can you pull back? Can I see that or? Can you hear me? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if maybe I went out for a second, but can I see the whole image, like with the?
Oh, can you not see it?
I'm seeing a close up of her hair.
Interesting. Okay, so I guess there's probably some sort of delay with StreamYard.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I still see the close up.
Yeah, I bet if you like pulled up the YouTube stream, it would show like the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe I'll try that. Hang on a second. I shall try that and see if that works.
I assume it's the page that I was showing before, though.
Yes, the monster's being chased. No, I still see it close up online here.
Really?
Close up with the hair.
Maybe I'll try connecting it and reconnecting it. Still nothing.
I'm just getting a blank screen right now. It's
A blank screen? Yeah.
like a black screen.
Yeah. StreamYard, what are you doing to me?
By the way, what do you go by? Dan? Do you go by Dannphan or because somebody just said
that
double
might get
Dan?
confusing.
There's two Dans.
Yeah, well, my real name is Trisha. You can call me that if you would like. I don't have an actual preference exactly.
Okay, your online preference.
Yeah.
Like, are you familiar with like Cecil? Like, or there's that guy Narwhal. He got named by just the chat sort of named him, and then that's his name now. You know.
Right. Man, maybe I gotta just stop screen and then add it again. It's not pulling up.
There you go.
Oh, now you see it?
Yes.
Ah. So that was what I needed to do. Okay.
All right, this looks cool. You know, I like it. You got a good design on this page. It's like you got, you know, it's the top is crunchy, but it's got a nice flow down, and I assume you're gonna put some cool lettering in there. Nice flow through the page. A lot of people make the mistake of cramming everything in the middle of the page, and that's not what you want in comics. You know, not in design. You want to have some kind of interesting balance on it. You know.
Right. Gotta put something cool in every corner.
Yeah. So do you like to draw in the blue line like this first? Is that what you prefer?
Yeah. I'm working off of these loose sketches that I did before and lining over them, adding everything else that, including the background, which is probably just mostly going to be grass for this particular one, just like grass going down.
I see. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I think like blue line looks best or easiest for me when I'm inking.
Particular stream.
But when I'm drawing, like when I'm painting, I like a brown line. For some reason, I guess it's because of the skin tones or something. But
Yeah, I guess it's a pretty calming color as opposed to like the bright red or bright blue.
well, I think it's because with the brown is again the skin tones. I'm going into kind of blends in together, sort of, and then I'll sort of draw something in pencil or in brown line, color it on the layer on beneath, and then start painting over the top of it all. Because that's kind of what I did. If you notice that tutorial where I did the girl's face, you know, the Kid Carter face,
Right.
and I drew it in a brown, and then I colored it right from underneath, and then I just worked over the whole top of it. And if it gave it, it gave it a kind of a painterly feel, which I was kind of looking for. You know, that old, it's almost 50s retro stuff. You know.
Yeah, I'm not as skilled in the digital painting thing. I do like the kind of anime cell shading type of stuff.
Right.
Not that I wouldn't want to learn the digital painting ways, but it's not on the to-do list at the moment, I guess.
How much stabilization do you like to put in your stuff? Because I noticed like you just pumped up the stabilization or took it down.
Well, it kind of depends, I guess, what kind of line I'm trying to draw. Like usually these smooth lines, I'll need stabilization up, but if I need to draw something a little bit more quicker, pump it down. Otherwise, it just gets in the way.
Actually, what program are you using?
I'm using Clip Studio.
Clip Studio, yes. I hear a lot about Clip Studio, and I think, like, should I try it? Everyone seems to love it, you know?
I like it, yeah. I've heard some people complain about it, and I guess, it depends on what you're used to overall, but I personally think it's a pretty good program.
I heard that one of the advantages is it just uses a lot less memory than Photoshop.
I didn't hear about that.
Okay, yeah, because that's the clogging up your computer and all that stuff. Apparently, Photoshop is a real memory hog, and you get massive files. And I do get massive files, and so that could be one advantage to using it. Have you used Photoshop?
Like in high school, but it's not one of those. It's not a program on my computer.
Okay, so you can't really compare it. You can't say which one you like more. Okay.
No, not really. I went from GIMP to this, I guess. And GIMP is known as kind of being the free Photoshop.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember that. How long was that go? How long ago was that, I wonder?
It's probably a good couple of years ago.
Okay.
But I believe GIMP is still around and people still use it. But,
Is it is it offered as part of the Adobe package, or?
GIMP?
Yeah.
No.
Because you said it was a free show. It's not actually a free Photoshop version. It's something
it's an alternative.
Photoshop equivalent.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, because I used to do early on, I would use Photoshop Illustrator to do inking it, because you get, those precise lines and you can move them and stuff. But now Photoshop does give you the option to do a what do you call it when they're not doing the pixel, but the lines that you can move, whatever what do they call them? I don't know, I forgot. But there's a difference between the pixelated ones and the other one. But the only thing is that it was almost like too precise stuff for me. I still like paper in a way. It's funny because I do storyboards, and I got I got to do quick. And I tell you, it's still drawing on a piece of paper and pencil is still faster for me, because I tend to zoom in. And when you zoom in, it's like you're doing something much larger,
Yeah. You have much more reason and tools to overthink the art piece when you're doing it digitally.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of people just spend more time on it.
So when you do these live streams, how long do you generally go for?
I try to finish a page, but usually I'm tapping out at 3 hours or less. I'm not really what do they say? You gotta have a live streamer brain to go on for more than a couple hours. Some of these streamers on Twitch, they go on for almost an entire day, just constantly full of energy. I don't have nearly as much energy to be a 24-hour streamer or anything like that.
I think 3 tops for me. Plus, it's actually not really good for you. You want to sit that long, I mean, I'm not saying they must take breaks. to do stuff, but yeah. Yeah, but I just got to, especially us older guys, we gotta get up and move, or we don't, move it or lose it, as they say,
Right.
So, but I've done I did a couple of things on my stream where I repainted a Frazetta, about 2 hours, 3 hours, somewhere in that range. That's max for me. I'm done. You know.
Yeah. And like the Friday streams, I normally only go on for like an hour in those as well, so they're fairly quick in comparison.
Now, besides doing the comics and stuff, do you? I mean, do you do anything else? Do you do anything professional, like for make a living at it? Like, do you do design or graphic design or anything like that?
I get like some freelance stuff for a bunch of odd projects, I guess. Nothing that I can really brag about, but
Okay.
just kind of other indie people who like need art for a game or art for a kids book that they're coming out with, or stuff like that.
Okay. Is this another person that knows me? It says, "Hail Dannphan, Dan, and Chad." Yeah, I would imagine there's a bit of crossover somewhat, because as I say, Michael seemed to know who I was. So.
Yeah, right.
Now, do you do commissions?
Yeah, when I have time for them, I guess.
Yeah, that's the same as me, But like I said, I actually, I love comics, but I'm still not doing. I'm still not doing it for my living. I'm in advertising. That's my bread and butter. But which is kind of fun in a way, because when I was doing comics full time, like for Marvel and stuff, it started to not get fun when you're pushing, you're always trying to the deadline and all your it's like now it's kind of like I don't really since my income's not coming from it. I started when I was working when my income was coming from it. I started to kind of hate comics a little bit. It's like it became work. And now that I'm kind of not doing it so much for a living, it's more fun, and it becomes fun again. So it's kind of a weird thing to sort of love comics and then kind of like get into them like comics, like. So but be warned, folks, if you want to draw a comic, which you may not, you're careful what you wish for, as they say,
To the art piece that they want it to be, if they have to like do a certain deadline or make it a certain way that your boss wants it to be, etc., etc.
Yeah, but actually, frankly, there's no time when the deadlines are so tight. It's like whatever it is, it's going out the door.
Yeah,
So.
right.
And it's the same thing. Actually, I kind of like that though, because I don't want to do all the changes. I really hate it when people nitpick stuff. So when I'm doing like my TV storyboards for TV commercials, there is no time. It's like, and it doesn't have to be that great either. So I just chuck them out and they're done. And where's my paycheck? So.
Yeah, get it over with.
Yeah, but actually, the funny thing is, I actually kind of like TV commercials. They tend to be funny. They tend to be entertaining. And sometimes comics, like when you're surprised when I'm doing not for you in anime, because it's kind of fun. It's more cartoony and fun. But when you're drawing a serious story, it can kind of be a drag, sometimes, Some of the stuff I've worked on, like, gosh, this is kind of a fun killer, So.
You don't want to be working on stuff that's gonna haunt you later.
Yeah, actually, because I worked on you take what you can get in comics. I worked on Hellraiser stuff, and I'm not I like horror, like Dracula and Frankenstein and stuff, but some of the Clive Barker stuff, it's just a bit much for me. And it's like, this is so grim, it's so horrible, So I was kind of like, I didn't really care for that part of it. But like I said, when you're looking for work, you just gotta take whatever they have available, and sometimes that's it. So.
Right. Yeah.
So.
I feel like that.
But I did get to work on a few things.
I feel like that type of depressing work would definitely get to me.
Yeah, it was dark.
Gotta
it's
detox from it.
Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm drawing these everyone's mad and they're fighting and killing everyone, and then when I do storyboards, like I'm drawing happy, smiley family walking into Target or something. It's like, hey, I kind of like this. That's me. I'm not this. About the fighting and gore. Like, so I'm saying I kind of don't mind. It's not something I hate. I sort of like it. But
Yeah,
but
right.
comics are my first love. That's just it's adventure and stuff and how I get into it. Now, do you how you say that there's anime and manga? What do you,
Yeah.
what the anime is the animation and the manga is the comics, but how do you do like distinct like what would you call your work? Do you call it manga or you call it anime?
Well, I just call it comics, but
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people have this perception of manga where it has to be like this very specific kind of authenticity, came from Japan, it's read like, right to left, etc. So I figure I can avoid if I just call mine comics.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess there's there has always been a comic like essence or sort of in the Western like Archie and that kind of stuff, and that I think that there's cartooniness in Western comics for sure. So do you
Okay.
let that influence you, or is that something that did you read Betty and Veronica and that sort of thing, or
Um, Not real. Well, like originally, I wanted to get into animation, which I guess is like a very classic thing to hear a lot of comics people say. But I was even more cartoony before, like, developing the anime stuff. So this was actually a slightly more realistic direction for me. But if you can imagine, like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon style drawings, that was where I started. And then we built up to this.
right? Okay. What is the comics that you tend to read then?
Well, usually manga.
Okay.
And of course, indie comics. Gotta support them.
Oh, do you in indie comics like the American stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Is there any that you follow that you're interested in? That I would know.
Maybe. I mean, like, I've read a lot of years. I'm sure that I've also reviewed a, a bunch. What was the most? I think it was Silverwing, maybe. But that's maybe not super indie. Recently, I read Phenomenova, and I have Common America, which I've been like trying to get myself to sit down and read. I read Cordrath.
Oh, Cordrath. Yeah. Did you know I colored some of those covers on Cordrath?
Very nice work.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's kind of fun for me is when I'm working with the some of these guys there. We're kind of old, veterans of the business and stuff, and it's happened so organically where they're just like, oh, Dan, can you color this? And like, yeah, sure, I'll try that. And I remember there was one I was on this stream with Aaron Lepresti, and he does the Wraith of God comic book, and he was showing me a backup story he did of a character called Garbage Man, and he was showing it online. I was on live stream with him, and I go, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I said, I would love to color that. He goes, do you want to? I said, yeah. Like, so I did, and because we both love like Bernie Wrightson, who was a big comic guy when we were kids or younger and stuff. And so we were dialed in, and it's so fun, it's so much fun to just sort of almost like you're working with your buddies. You know, you're sitting around like Frazetta and his friends or something. You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good to.
Now, do you do everything yourself? You colored everything?
Well, it depends on the project, but for this one in particular, yeah, basically all the art and writing can be credited to me.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing like, isn't there nothing like writing and drawing? I mean, because I do think that, like Frank Miller there was an interview once with him, and he said that it is one art. He thinks it's one art, but it doesn't think that's the only way it can be done. You can collaborate with people, but the artist and the writer, they have to really work together to get that thing good, because he thinks the best comics that have been done is usually people who write and draw, because it's so seamless, you know, like a Will Eisner or something, or a Dave Stevens, you know, the Rocketeer guy. Just you know,
Yeah.
they're writing, they're drawing, it's all just, you know, it's unified, it's seamless. But
Right, right. It's very useful for getting the whole vibe and aesthetic down when you are able to craft it yourself.
yes, yeah, that's and satisfying, you know, because it's everything you got. So
I basically haven't even written scripts in a long time because I just like basically go straight to storyboarding nowadays whenever I'm writing out a comic.
yeah, so you're drawing and writing, or you're sketching and writing just a quickie thumbnail, so to speak, right? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I'll always have like an outline ready, but sometimes it just helps me visualize what I need to get done with a page if I just skip the script and go straight to like sketching.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's I mean, the great storyteller Hayao Miyazaki. I mean, that's what he did in all of his animations, and he drew them up. You know, even Alfred Hitchcock would do his own little storyboards to work out the scene, and I think it helps. Actually, I recommend that for guys people who just are writers, only writers, is to if you want to do comics, sketch out that story, even if you just have stick figures, because you start to learn how to tell a story with pictures, and from panel to panel, you get a sense, I say, of time passing, of mood, of drama, and then you can tell your artist. Because frankly, for me, it's like when I get a script, it's like more information the better. You know, even if I'm working on a TV commercial, give me I ask a ton of questions, and I really get into that person's head and try to figure out because my job is to take their idea and be an extension of it. We're got to, because sometimes I'll come back with something that go, that's exactly what I was thinking. You're dialed in, and you gotta, that's a talent. You got to try to develop to make it happen from that core idea.
Right, yeah. My boyfriend has like commissioned artists every now and then, and he turns to me like, how do I go about this, like make sure that I can get the art piece as good as can be. And the best advice for when you're going out commissioning artists is just be as specific as you can. Just
Yeah,
give
I think
them
so,
like
yeah.
good direction and references.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you got to set them free too, a little bit.
Right.
That's why sometimes, again, when I'm working on the storyboards and the art director comes to me, once I've worked with them for a while, they've just sometimes they'll just give me the script and say, I know what you can do, Dan. And they know how they'll be able to put this thing together and make it happen for them. So knowing your artist is a big deal too. What they're, after you've worked with them for a bit, like, what their weakness is and where its strength is, where you have to explain things where you don't. And yeah, it's It's kind of fun actually when that happens. Although it's actually more work too, though. You got it. I mean, like sometimes I want it all thought out for me. Like, just give me the whole thing. I don't want to think today. Just give me that. All right. Well, it's been 45 minutes. I'm gonna check out, Dan. But this is fun to finally meet you and talk comics a little bit and connect.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful to be on the show, and maybe I'll have you come on my show sometime.
Sure.
Yeah, well, and grow as I grow my
can-
channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, no rush. I'm
Yes,
just
we-
throwing it out there, for fun. But
Sure. Everybody
anyways,
go check out his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Where
How to
can
Draw
people find
Comic
you?
Books. I'm on YouTube. How to Draw Comics by Dan Lawlis. That's lots of tutorials there. I got one that's pretty cool. Like if people want to just start out, I think it's called How to Understand Perspective in Art, and it's a pretty darn good overview of perspective, and it's pretty clear. I think it's one of the better tutorials out there, and it's only 15 minutes. So some of my other stuff is pretty long, but this one's short. It's a good place to start, especially if you're having trouble with perspective or if you're a little confused by it. I think I do a pretty good job of explaining it, and because some of these things that when I was trying to figure it out, I sort of developed my own way of teaching myself, and so there's things in there you're not going to see other places, and from my just trial and error,
All right.
So, alrighty, we'll see you around, and thank you for having me here, and we'll talk to you in a while. Take it easy, Dannphan.
Did my computer freeze again?
Oh. All right, we'll see ya.
Yeah, I guess he left. StreamYard killing me. By the way, guys, if it does just blink out again and my drawing screen doesn't show up anymore, feel free to yell at me. I'll do my best to fix it. Ugh, I'm drawing so slow today. I feel slow. I feel like a very slow person. Ugh. At this rate, I'm starting to think, and maybe I won't even finish this. I thought I picked a nice, easy panel, like, oh yeah, I can totally finish this. Now I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do it. Less blue is preferable. Man, her arm is way too long here. Look how long I made this hand. Shit needs to change. No more. Well, that's better, I suppose. Just guess where these fingers would be. That thumb is probably over there, but other than that, it's like fine. It's like okay, not perfect, but thin this hand out. Oh, I can't thin this hand out because then it won't connect to the arm. Okay. Let's call that progress. Hope it wasn't too awkward. Unfortunately, I'm just tired today. Been staring at the same two fingers for a while. Yeah, that's... You see, this doesn't normally happen, so... Or at least this doesn't normally happen... Okay, there we go. I don't know why it's doing that. Has that ever happened during drawing stream before? I don't... Has. Should I make this chicken cartoony? I suppose. You know what? Don't worry about the chicken. Yeah, I don't know why that would be happening for this particular live stream. Maybe it's just bad luck. Maybe I need to hit the abort button. Finish this another day. I normally don't have issues with StreamYard, or at least not any serious issues. Like very minor issues of maybe, it's been acting up for a lot of people lately. Ugh. Real pain in the ass, huh? Ugh. Alright, you know what? Maybe I'll draw her hair and then just move on to the next character. I don't really feel like drawing the chicken right now. Swooping too perfectly. Good. Ever use real G-Pen? I usually do. I can't get to grips with the normal one. Oh, yeah, like the, I usually don't use this, honestly, but I guess I should, because this is a little bit too smooth, honest. Well, I guess it's a little bit too late to start using real G-Pen at this point, but... Or maybe it's not. I've only inked like a couple pages. But yeah, the thing that is a big pain in the ass is how smoothing out makes like all the itty bitty pixels here. You like move it to monochrome, it looks like that. Not very pretty now, is it? Did it freeze on me again? I swear. StreamYard, what is going on with you? I think the worst thing is it shows it normal for me, but then on the actual stream, nobody will be able to see the page. So frustrating. Because at least when it also drops for me, then I know to stop. I know it's not working and I know to fix it, but if I don't know that I'm supposed to fix it, then it's just no good. Let's see. Real G-Pen is nice. Some of the problems I've seen from other streams is that we don't see what the host is seeing. Yeah, I guess that is the issue. Wasn't able to draw for about a week. Pencil tip wore out. Finally replaced them today. That's nice. Well, nice that you got it replaced. You'll be able to get back to drawing. It's difficult once you've stopped drawing to get back into the motion. I don't know, should I switch to the Real G-Pen? Is this going to like radically... change that? Well, it's not really that much of a difference, right? Hell yeah. Yeah, let's not worry about it for now. Did I finish it? Like I said, I'm just gonna ignore this chicken for now, because I'm not really sure if I should make the chicken kind of goofy looking or keep it realistic looking. I'm kind of torn and also tired. And maybe just because I'm tired, I would lean towards making it goofy looking, because that's how I feel. I don't know if many people appreciate this small detail the same way that I appreciate it. The boots are too big for her. Boots are too big for her. That's why she has all the holding it up so that she can wear them. See? No laces. You just have string holding it up like this. Makes no sense. But I thought it was a cute idea. Oh, it occurs to me, yeah, this is kind of the first time people are seeing this character. Or actually, I did draw a sketch of her, and I posted like a sketch a while ago. So maybe it's not the first time. Kind of an old sketch though, before I even like kind of officially announced that Reaper 2 was here. Alright. Maybe I say goofy is fun. It is goofy. It's frozen again, never mind. Heck, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Oh. My goodness. StreamYard. Get your act together. Alright, I'll do all of these on separate layers. Monster time? Monster. Weasel. Are we weaseling right now? I'm too tired. Alrighty. Well, working on some original art pieces to also do for the campaign. Obviously, I need at least one of Big Titty Waifu. Otherwise, people won't know. Won't know that we have Big Titty Waifu confirmed, you know? So, I did do one, although I'm not really sure if I'm super happy with it. It's like, it's okay. It's alright. But, it's not really, it's not a full shot. It's a very, like, tiny shot of just her face. How do you know if the waifu has big titties if you don't at least do the chest as well? You know? So, I'll have to go back. Maybe do another one at some point. Maybe try a full body one? At the very least, the chest up feels a little bit more reasonable. Yeah, everybody loves the waifus, it's very true. It's like 80% of anime's success all came from the waifus. God bless them. Let's jack that stabilization down. Alright. Close enough. So, yeah, do another original art piece. Maybe start posting those at some point. Let people know that they exist. And, I don't know, should I save most of the surprise tiers for when the campaign has actually started? Not like I have a bunch of surprises or anything, but, you know, last time when we did Reaper Book 1, I had like at least 1 or 2 surprises, and those were nice. So I have at least one in mind that is a little bit more unique. Unique tiers are always the best. And I'd love to share that with people. of course. Same time, I'm like, maybe it should be a surprise. The trailer in of itself is gonna be exciting, of course. Not only do you get to like see the pages that I'm drawing on stream brought to life, well, in very minor animation anyways, but we also get some voice acting and some original music. Music to reap by, guys. It's coming. We're gonna get the album out there. You just wait. So stupid. Did hear Black Torch got anime? Really? I didn't hear that. That's really interesting. Considering that it's a canceled manga. You think do you think they're just trying to fill out a roster for anime releases? Or do you think that they're trying to see if people would be like interested in seeing more of Black Torch? Cause that's something, you know? I had like very half and half feelings on that manga, because part of me was like, oh, it didn't have the best opening, right? And it's like, oh, maybe the writer should just work on something else, take what they learned from this, and go make something new, etc., etc. But then part of me was like, well, it did get better. It did get better at the end, and it has great art. It's got style to it. So I don't know. I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world if they brought back Black Torch and maybe tried to, I don't know, try to maybe fix some of the problems that people had with it. It's something. That's really interesting. I'll look forward to hearing more about that. Will we see more new chapters, if there are any, before Reaper 2 comes out? Oh, characters. Why did I read that as chapters out loud? Yes, definitely, there's definitely other characters. Will we see more besides Big Titty Waifu? Big Titty Waifu is very important for big titty reasons. But I can certainly share screenshots of other characters that appear. There's more characters in book 2 than there were in book 1. That's maybe another thing that I somewhat regret about. Well, you know, not like a big regret, but book 1 has this very isolated feel to it. And maybe that fits because it also goes with the character himself being like kind of isolated. Mentally at least. But you don't really see a lot of peoples, you know? Or if you do, it's like very restricted. But there are many more characters introduced in book 2, and a lot of other sick characters planned as we continue onward with the series. None of them are nearly as big titty as Big Titty Waifu, though. hence why she'll take priority. Her and, of course, like, the actual important new character. And you know what, let's just be kind of loose with the spikes for now. I can always clean it up and cry later. I can already see future Dannphan being like, why did I do this to myself? It's so messy. It's barely line art. Now I have to fix it all. Why? That sounds like a problem for future Dannphan. Not for me. Anyway. Hello, is this thing on? So the video that I spent like almost all this morning working on was the thrift store anime video, which I mentioned before that I was working on. Let's go a little bit too far back. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you know, maybe. Let's go up more. No, quite right. Must fix. That turned out to be a pretty fun video. I think many of you guys are going to enjoy that one. It did take a while to finish editing, and I did get, of course, right, copyright struck for playing like 15 seconds of the opening while like specifically talking about the opening. Remember when there was a time where people were like, oh yeah, you can show copyrighted material so long as it's for review or critique? Well, no, apparently you can't. Can't do that. Not on YouTube. Ow. It's a tale as old as time, really. Alrighty. Yeah, I missed the part where that's my problem. Exactly, there we go. Hey Zanek, how's drawing going today? Oh, I wish it was going a little bit better. Apparently StreamYard is like giving issues, so like every now and then it just won't show what I'm drawing to everybody, and it'll just be frozen. And people will hear me drawing, but they won't see anything, which is unfortunate. But other than that, it's been going great. Alright. Now this is a loose sketch that I did for inking up, but the first sketch that I did of this monster looked completely different from this. I like the final design much better though. The very, very, very first sketch that I ever did of this monster, it was supposed to be like completely different. Like the weasel kind of aesthetic that I went for in the final was pretty new overall. And I think it all turned out for the best, because the original design for this monster was actually like very, very simplified to the point of not really being, that scary. Which I guess is an issue. Because it's like, how can we even take that monster seriously if it's so simple? Not that you can't make something simple and scary, but I was not good at doing this. And that was the issue. It was my lack of talent. I like drawing very big claws. I don't know if you've picked that up on me. I'm not very good at drawing like very delicate hands either, or very like, you know, particularly feminine or pretty hands, but boy do I love drawing like just fucking clawy Slenderman-esque hands, just all fucked up, just like, you know? Because the more uncanny the look, the better it is, because it's supposed to be all spooky dooky. So I enjoy those. I think I also partially have like a phobia, an actual phobia of long nails or long claws. Not to the point where I'm disabled, but you know, I think it does actually freak me out quite a bit. I'm sure you're all familiar with ASMR becoming quite popular over the years. I've partaken in some, but whenever these bitches are like petting their bunnies, right? And they have these long ass fucking nails, I'm like, ew, I don't want to see that. No, it's too long. It's scary. You look like this monster looks to me. This, you look like this and have polka dots all over them. That's the only difference in my head. You stream on Twitch too? I don't. Yeah. I don't even think I have a Twitch account. I might have like a really old one or something, but I'm really not a Twitch person. Not unless I'm having a seizure. But did you try setup on OBS? No. Well, yes, I have OBS. Usually this is just easier, especially for like moments like those where people like Dan wanna pop in and like chat. It's usually, today was a little bit of a mess, but usually it's easier to just send people a StreamYard link and have them pop in and ending this, but it is giving me some issue today. By the way, guys, if once again you can't see my screen or it's frozen, please do tell me. There's very little reason to do this stream if you can't see what I'm drawing. I'm sure my commentary is also amusing, of course, but it'll kind of just seem like the ramblings of a mad woman without the context. Oh god. It reminds me of when I did like one of my first drawing streams ever. Way back in the day. And I couldn't see chat because I didn't have the double screen set up the way that I do now. So I was just like talking with nothing to go on. Just no idea what the heck chat was saying. And every now and then I would switch screens and then see what they were saying. And I think one of the first comments, or like one of the comments I read at one point when I was pretty far in the stream, somebody's just like, I love this, it's like the ramblings of a madwoman. Because I'm just going at it, talking about all kinds of random shit. Talking to myself, essentially. They were right. It was the ramblings of a madwoman. Alright. Like this monster. He's looking cool. He's looking sick. He's looking like he's about ready to start his ASMR channel. Clacking on some fucking books or something. I don't know. I don't know what the ASMR guys are doing. The general rule for monsters should not hit the cozy vibe. Yeah. Sounds like a featured chapter to the Reaper story, The Ramblings of a Madwoman. Yes, perfect. Already got Reaper Book 3 figured out. Ugh. I actually do have to get started on sketching some pages for Reaper Book 3 so I can put them in the preview read. I mentioned it before already, but I'll mention it again. I'm thinking maybe the preview reads should just be sketches. Save on time. May not get because like you saw what happened when I did the preview read for book 2. When I'm actually doing book 2, I basically just redrew everything. And a lot of those early book 2 pages that I drew were kind of rushed out. Which is probably what would happen again if I really, especially actually, because, you know, this is even more pages than book 1 was, so I would probably be rushing even more. This thumb does not look in the right place. Yeah. Ooh. Though I guess it's not really a thumb. It's some kind of paw, claw thing. I know English. It's my first language. Alright. Eh? We're cooking. We're cooking. It's not too shabby. No, I don't mind people popping on the stream, having a chat. I did have a good conversation with Dan. He seems cool. He seems like who would be able to get pretty consistent views on his streams, because he kind of just seems pretty chill and cool to talk to. Though, I did feel kind of insecure drawing while being tired and having him watch me. I know there's no real reason to be, but at the same time I'm kind of like, ah shit, this looks bad and I'm too... No, don't look. in a way, I suppose, sort of a godsend that StreamYard isn't fucking working. Well, it's working for now anyways. I haven't heard anyone say that it got fucky-wuckied yet. Monster's looking pretty sick, man. I love this guy. Look at this fucking hairy motherfucker. Well, it's really supposed to be quills, but he looks pretty hairy. What can I say? So this art you're drawing is the Fujoshi you were talking about? Caressing a bunny. Yeah, we're getting some information mixed up, I think. I think some things are getting lost in translation. Dan, we drawing furries now? Well... no spoilers now. I can't spoil Reaper Book 2 for you. Can't let you know about the furry sex scene. Like a bear or something. You know, that's less funny when it exists in real life. Okay. Not in the Reaper book, but you know what that reference is from. Do I have to explain? Alright, we got... you know what? I'm not usually very good at foreshortening, but I kind of like how this monster's coming at you. Sorry, I just need to compliment myself real quick. Hope you don't mind. And then for these back feet, I'm just gonna go full blur. Give him that pouncing motion, because I like this. I like this. It's good. Yeah. In general for book 2, I've been trying to get more like interesting and unique looking panels to really excite the brain of those who are actually reading it. So I hope people notice the jumping quality. Hope to not stop. Keep going up. Keep going up in quality and never ever stop. Yeah, look at this. Look at this motherfucker. Rawr. He looks good. I like him. He's like super sketchy, right? We'll have to smooth him out. Maybe that is another problem that we should give future Dannphan. Eh? Future Dannphan, would you like to worry about this? He's good. He's good. Let's flip this. Alright. It still looks kind of okay. I do see a little bit of issues here and there. Yeah. Maybe we'll take it easy for now. I think this should be decent enough. Let me see where she is in comparison to all this. Alrighty. Zoom out a little bit. Alright. I think I want these claws to move a bit more. I might have this one in front of her hair, actually. And this claw will be behind. So it's like kind of wrapping around her. A little bit tricky, but I think I can do it. So let's just start by extending these a little bit out. I can do this because I have superior vectors. Vectors, the best, the only way to draw. If only real life were vectors, there would be no war. Only vector. Yeah. Well, if you guys are interested in the, well, if you're interested in Reaper Book 2, obviously, that's going to be launching March 25th. That's exciting. But if you're also, you know, side note, if you're interested in seeing the new video that's coming out tomorrow, it's going to be thrift store anime reviews. A bunch of anime DVDs that I got from the thrift store that I took the time to watch and review. They're fairly like quick reviews, but I think I cover the basics as much as I can. Cover like my overall thoughts, which I realize some people don't like, because they're like, why don't you think about the things that I want you to think about when you watch the anime? Because I am not you, unfortunately. I wish I was you. You're very cool, but no. Can't do that. But yeah, so which anime did I watch, you might be wondering. I don't know, should I keep it a secret? Do you want it to be kept a secret until the video comes out? Because I can just tell you now. You guys are special. You're special. You get special treatment because you actually show up for my streams. As opposed to most of the normies, the normie fans. They only show up for when I get one video that goes viral and it's a Serena Williams meme. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. That's more of a claw that could be wrapping around her. Yeah, good stuff. 10 out of 10. Put that in that folder. Put it away. It's gone. Progress is destroyed. I could probably just draw these guys on the same layer, honestly. I was thinking about drawing them separate too, but because if I do decide to move them around, I'm just gonna probably move them together. Tell me you found a copy of Ruin Explorers like I did at the dollar store too. I should have gotten Ruin Explorers. That would have been a great idea. No. Obviously, I guess these guys are gonna kill, but I still want them to look good. Or at least to look passable. Yes. Oh my goodness, my laptop be cooking. It's a great monster to dying, thanks. Is the stream frozen? Can you, I have to ask, because I think a lot of people who watch these streams also don't look at the screen, and I get it, there's only like so much of somebody drawing that you can be visually looking at, right? But yes, please do inform me if the screen is frozen. Or if you can see all the other things that I'm drawing. My best to like just keep on refreshing it. Okay, we'll see you later, Crislet, my dude. Ooh, that's not good placement for the mouth. It's a little bit better. Oh man, something about this neck is making him look fatty. There's a fatty McFattass. It's like the brutal thing about drawing like muscly men is trying to make them not look fat, but instead actually look strong. Struggle with it. I do. I'm sure a lot of other people who don't know like the anatomy, muscles, and etc. etc. I'm sure a lot of people struggle with it. It's just like it really is just a matter of like doing it over and over again and trying to memorize certain patterns. Ooh, did it freeze? Did it freeze or am I still drawing? At this point I've become paranoid. Maybe it did freeze though. I don't know. It looks like it's frozen on you drawing a guy's beard. Alrighty. This is becoming an issue if I am to do drawing streams regularly. Originally, I was planning to do these more regularly. You know, show people the progress and get people hyped about stuff that they're gonna see, like actual comic. But, man oh man! StreamYard, you're killing me. Well, it's alright. We're at least close to done the general line work. All we have to do is draw these two guys in the back. And I think I am gonna do them on just like one folder. And not really worry about separating them. think if I move them for the trailer, I'll probably just move them as one unit. I don't know if that sounds like a psycho thing to do, but... Oh man, Dannphan. Really just gonna draw these two completely different characters on the same layer? What's wrong with you? God. How could you do such a thing? Unsubscribe. Alright, now the more that I overthink this, I think I will draw them on two different layers. I think I've convinced myself. This isn't right, is it? His butt is here. And this has gotta be a little bit different. Of StreamYard freezing. Strategic butt covering, you know it. Does your chat window show timestamp with seconds or no timestamp? It shows like the actual like 7:48 p.m. My, how the years have gone by. There used to be a period in time where it was like absolutely impossible for me to draw a male character. It still kinda is, but it's better now. Jesus, his eye got all fucked up. How did I do this? Now it looks weird that I pulled it down. Yeah, that's probably right. Okay. That's close enough. Future Dannphan will fix that, don't worry about it. See, you praise present Dannphan for this artistic talent, but really, future Dannphan is the actual artist. I'm just a fraud. It's tilted, isn't it? Fucking tilted. Tilted ass eye. Ramblings of a mad woman. That's my secret. These are just like my actual thoughts while drawing. I just happen to have really silly thoughts. Okay. There we go. We're cooking. We be cooking. Let me just, yeah, you know what? It's probably better that way. Just flatten this out a little bit. Because I don't want that one hair to pop up a million feet in the air. Go. We got Guy Run. His actual name is Riken. You can write all your Fujo fan fiction about him now. You have the name. Please don't. Oh, did we get a freeze? I think we got a freeze. I think whenever it flashes... under the assumption that it disconnected. Let me see. Dan, have you ever read the manga monster collection, The Girl Who Can Summon Monsters? The anatomy and monster art is amazing in it. You know, I have not read that manga. It sounds kind of interesting, though. Based on the title alone, of course. I'm kind of drawing my own conclusions on, like, what it would be about. But it sounds interesting. Is it, like, kind of a with like the girl collecting monsters, gotta catch 'em all, except she's collecting like dragons and shit? I'd be into that. I like dragons. Dragons are cool. Slime. Do these. Whee! Nice. It just pauses. We are still live. Oh my goodness. Mostly I write some reaction to stuff you say, but you react to the text like 20 to 60 seconds later. So reaction is lost in timing. Well, I mean, also keep in mind that I'm drawing and then every now and then I'm looking up at the screen. So it could also be just like it takes me a while to actually look at the screen to see what you wrote. In the meanwhile, I'm just like ranting about fucking nonsense. Utilizing my time very nicely. But that could also be what it is. I don't know, it could be just super bad super mega bad internet. I did like drop out at one point. Well, like, you know, the internet blinked and I was gone. It's very short, like 6 volumes. It was a spin-off manga for the Monster Collection card game. Oh, shit! It is like a Pokemon thing. Okay. That's cool. You know, me and my friends, actually, not just me, we recently watched one of the, I mean, there's a bunch of different versions, but one of the anime for a card game, a fairly popular card game. Trying to remember what it was called. I think it was Wix something? Wix Sauce? Oh, God. Well, there's kind of a bit of a spoiler about our experience, like, watching the first episode of this card game anime that made it very funny and a very funny experience for us. But I don't know if I should tell you. Part of me is like, oh, maybe that would make an interesting video. And then the other part of me is like, maybe I should bury this so that nobody has to hear about this anime existing. But I can't even remember what the card game was. What? What was that card game? I feel like it began with a W. This hand looks all fucked up now. Too distracted talking about children's card games. No, that's more fucked up. It's wrong direction. Should be under, but just like peeking out. Right? No, because now it's creating a tangent. Ugh. There's no pleasing you, hand. Yay, card games. Right. I should figure out what that anime was. I swear it's a popular card game too. It's not like just some nobody one. But it had the craziest plot for the anime. Or well, crazy plot, and then like crazy additional details, especially the romance was a little bit fucking insane. Not to give away too much detail, but I do think it is crazy for like an official company to commission an anime that has a very questionable romance, to say the least. Alright, let me just fucking smooth out these details that you probably can't see because probably the stream is frozen and I don't even know about it. It's a problem for future Dannphan. Wick sauce? I think that was what it was called. Let me look it up. If I see it, I'll know. I think. Anime. Well, why is it showing me all these other oh yeah, Selector. I think think. Because now I'm looking at these images and I'm like, man, this is actually very bland looking. Was it this bland? Was it this bland when we were watching the anime? Yeah, it can't be Selector. It's gotta be another. It's gotta be another. If this is the card game that I'm thinking of, it can't be this one. Because I would have recognized her little fucking card waifu. Whatever they call them. Man, Brave Search is just sucking. That bitch. That bitch. Yeah. Alright. Oh, that was the wrong tab that I was scrolling out of. My bad. Sorry. Alright. I think this. Yeah. Yeah, questioning if I should do a video about that in the future. It was strange. Would not recommend the particular anime that we saw based on that for a couple of reasons. But the romance being the primary reason, I think. And I'm sure your imagination runs wild with all of the possibilities when I mention that. I'll let you reach your own conclusions. I'm sure if you just guessed for a long enough time, you'd be able to figure it out. It's not quite right. Long pause. Alright. At this point, I'm starting to think maybe I should just finish this panel on another stream if I have to keep on, like, resetting this. StreamYard, you're killing me. That's not the eraser. I was tricked. Ah. Freerun or Korra? Freerun, I should think. What? What are you guys? What are you talking about? Oh, is that like a would you rather type thing, where it's like, would you rather watch Freerun or Korra? Seems like a very easy choice. Dan, have you heard the new Avatar series is canonizing Korra as a major fuck-up? Well, that is the theory. In actuality, I don't think that they're gonna go through with it. I think that they are just like kind of teasing you with the, oh, people think the Avatar is bad now. Whoa, you know, but I don't think that they're actually going to go through with that. It's probably going to be some sort of ending or like bigots who don't understand the Avatar and you gotta deal with it. Or something like that. I don't know. Up to interpretation. Fuck. Can't believe they wrote that. It still seems surreal to believe that, like, the same people who wrote Uncle Iroh and Zuko also wrote, I'm the Avatar and you gotta deal with it! Writing masterpiece. Now, to be fair, this may shock and appall you, but I did not actually watch that far into Legend of Korra. Most of what I know about the show I learned later from reviews, from people who were keeping up with the series, basically keeping up with it for me, so that I could know ahead of time if it was worth my viewing. It was not. I have determined this, just as the reviews were meant to be used. I shall use them to know whether or not I should watch something. For this is why reviews exist. Oh, Dannphan, you can't judge something based on this review. You gotta in on it. Shush! You are being silenced. Was wondering how Korra failed the jump writing a powerful character versus Frieren, who does it much better. Especially a character who is intentionally supposed to be overpowered, it's very easy to mess up. Part of it is finding new limitations for that character and making it equally as interesting. For example, just like random example, that everyone ever will always use to refer to this exact Saitama, right? He's super duper powerful, but all is he's almost never where the action is, and he's kind of apathetic, kind of an who kind of needs to be tugged in a direction to take action. And these are like character flaws that don't necessarily not strong, but prevents him from being a boring character despite his strength. Let's see, how much of that back leg should I show? I guess I might as well show it all. Show a little bit of that. Can't even see the stream. It probably glitched out again. What am I saying? Did you get to based Granny Toph? No, I didn't, but I did see clips of Granny Toph online, and I think I got all the experience that I needed from those single clips. Funny thing is, I fully acknowledge Legend of Korra isn't very good and effed up the lore, but I gotta admit I enjoyed it. No, I definitely know people who still enjoyed it, despite it not being very well written and like screwing with the lore and everything. Like I said, I knew people who were watching it at the time, and it's almost in a similar, not entirely, but almost in a similar vein to how I do the DC YA comic read-throughs on this channel. They're just like, oh my god, it's so bad, but I can't stop watching it. I just need to see where this crazy train is heading. Because it does offer its own kind of entertainment value, you know? Even if it in the world. You'll need to know. Okay. Something I realized later was how much Korra is a prototype to the Disney Star Wars trilogy. They even did the spit on the last guy by running Aang. Yeah, I also noticed kind of the similarities, although, like, you kind of start to notice similarities in almost all the time. Or at least the female characters that were coming out for, like, I don't know, it must have been like a decade. It just seemed like back to back all of these female characters were like the same person, just being written over and over again. Not exactly like literally, but you know, like they just all simultaneously, by coincidence, trust me, they just all wanted to write some like super powerful OP female character whose only flaw is that she's too good. And she has to show up and, I don't know, smash the patriarchy or something. Bunch of it. Alright, this guy's done anyway. Oh wait, no, I didn't do his axe. Pages. Let's do that part first then. Alright, then we do his belt. Attach to axe. Let's go with the line tool for this one. I don't trust myself. Something like that. It's okay. Don't worry about it, Dannphan. You can fix it in the future. It's a problem for future Dannphan. Yes. For future Dannphan. She will deal with this. Yeah, remember Freya and the Last Dragon? Oofa. Yeah, that's what they should have called it. Just oofa. Just don't make the last oof. Yeah, I do remember that. That vaguely... I think I want this curve a little bit more, but I think this is passable. Maybe I just shouldn't mess with it too much. There we go. Start giving this a little bit more depth. Smooth this out a little bit. So now it looks way too cornered. I was thinking about like putting some sort of design on the axe originally. Now I'm like, I don't know if I should. It's not like it would be time consuming exactly, because obviously I can just use a brush to do some sort of Celtic design. The thing is, I just... Oh, did I have actual string laid out? I thought I was just gonna... No, you know what? It's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's see if I can actually remember this design. I think it was one down and then... Well, I don't show the whole thing there. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, and then it's just a bunch of grippers down at the bottom. Alright, that's fine. Also do a fake out. Make it look like it has depth. It doesn't, but I'm just making it look like that. Yeah, there we go. Alright, there you go. There's Riken. He's running after Monster. I think he turned out looking pretty okay. What does it say? A Riken in motion stays in motion. Gotta save the damsel. Alright, you know what? I will put him in his own folder. Gets to be all on his own. And then the last one, we can just do Ichabod. He's doing cool run. You know, he looks like he's about to go into Naruto running. He's just running normally. Because he actually wants to get there in time. Ichabod just wants to look cool. Kinda selfish. Zoom in and you see his stupid face. Good stuff. I didn't really like turning red either. I just feel like think I did a video on that when it came out. I was cashing in on all the people making videos on it because it was relevant. I feel like it was very similar to a lot of other movies that I grew up on, but like weirder. They just turned up the weirdness factor by quite a lot. But when you hype up a movie to be like the most cringiest thing on the planet, and then you watch it and it's like, this is pretty mild cringe. If you think this is the most cringe you've ever seen, man, you don't read enough DCYA. That's where the real cringe is. That's where all the condensed cringe, like, this is nothing compared to that. But no, I didn't like the movie, by any means. I haven't seen Luca either, but I always hear people liked it. It's one of those cult classics for sure. I just wasn't like super into the plot of Luca, so I didn't see it. Which I guess can be said for like a lot of movies coming out, but like I'd enjoy a lot more of the fairy tale movies, right? Or the Princess and the Knight and the Slaying of the Dragon, right? That'd be awesome. But, you know, they're not gonna do those because feminism or something. It's like some combination of feminism and then also they just don't like European history and they think we should all die. I don't know. Or they think we're overrepresented. I think that's probably what they would actually say. Overrepresented in media and therefore cannot make cool things anymore. Cannot have fantasy. Unless it's like some fantasy that's based on some other culture besides European fantasy, I guess. Your eyes got fucked up in this process. They too close together or something? Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit. It's a good thing he's gonna be very far away. I don't want people to zoom in on his details the way that I'm doing right now. I still think it's funny how Turning Red's director cried about people not expecting other people's culture when Demon Slayer was one of the most popular anime to come out that year. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the thing about Japan, for me, is I actually really like that they're proud of their culture and that they try to, like, preserve it within their media. And obviously there are some government incentives here and there, but it's usually just people who are genuinely proud of being Japanese and having this nice cultural attachment. And not everybody has that. And there are different ways you can deal with not having that. About it. And try to take away everybody else's culture. Or just pretend that nobody has any culture, or, you know. But it wasn't until a little bit later where I realized that I did kind of want to know more about where I came from, etc., etc. And then I didn't really have answers because my parents were very, I mean, for lack of a better term, they were very, like, boomer-ish about the whole thing. My dad is always like, I'm a mutt. I got a little bit of everything in me. I don't know, girl. You ever hear, like, a dad say that? Because that's not even the first time. Not even the first time I've heard a dad say that, where they're like, I'm a mutt. I don't have any culture of value to share with you, my daughter. But yeah, I like that anime is, like, fully embracing their culture, and I like learning about it. It doesn't even have to be my culture to be interested in it. It's just that the world is interesting and has so many interesting stories to tell. That's it. It's not that complicated. Some things in the world are just interesting, and you want to know more about it. Japan also does Vikings better than actual European descended creators. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of content not made from. There's a lot of European content that were made as, like, hit pieces during one period of time, which is crazy to think about. That people would, I mean, I guess they still do, but what kind of a loser do you need to be a piece on somebody's culture and spread, like, weird misinformation about it? It's one thing to, like, try to make something a little bit more interesting for movie purposes, but it's another to just, like, being purposefully spiteful. So, like, the first thing that comes to mind is there was a horror movie called Midsummer, and that was meant to be a hit piece. From what I understand, anyway, it was, like, trying to say that, like, white people are evil and their culture is scary. Or something. I had someone else explain to me, so I am getting like, filtered information. But if you know more about it, you can definitely inform me. I know Kingdom of Heaven was also, like, kind of that, which is a shame because that's when I asked for, like, are there any, like, Crusader movies out there? That's usually the one that people are recommending, but it's a hit piece on the Crusades. It's like trying to make them all look bad. Ugh. I don't know, guys. Should I just, like, end when I finish the line work of Ichabod and maybe, like, finish this in another stream? Guess I could also end now, but I'll at least pretend that I'm gonna keep going and that I'm not. It's also one of those, it's extra bad. It's extra demotivating to keep going because I don't know if the stream is actually picking up anything I'm drawing or if it's paused. Wasn't Midsummer directed by Ari Aster, the guy that directed the Black Family Incest movie? That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Ugh. Oh, speaking of culture, Dan, have you seen Onyx Equinox, the show directed by the High Guardian Spice creator about Aztec mythology? I did not know that the show was also directed by the Guardian Spice director. Or creator. Creator? Really? Oh my god. I did not know that. Yeah, I saw the first episode when it came out, actually. And I thought, this isn't that good. But, like, at least it has more to it. The real issue is I had no fucking idea what was happening. So confused right away. I had so many questions. And then later on, like, I saw more and it started to make a little bit more sense, but I just still didn't really like it. But man, now that you mentioned, like, High Guardian Spice creator was a part of that, that adds a lot of context to it. Nah, that shouldn't flip up like that. Come on, Dannphan. Can't leave everything to future Dannphan to fix. Blacklight Jack covered it a while back. Yeah, I did see his review also. He had a pretty solid review of it. got going on? Ooh, man, this is good. Had the same excuse as Turning Red, trying to hide behind the creator's heritage to block criticism. Yeah. Like I said, no issue. Absolutely none with people writing stories based on their heritage. In fact, I'd even encourage it in some instances, right? If you want to do it, by all means, please go for it. But how about you make it good also? You know? You don't get the gold star just for writing it about a certain topic. You have to also make it good. It's a requirement. That's when you get the gold stars, when you also make it good. Seems a shame that the Crunchyroll originals were so poorly mismanaged. And this foot comes way too far down. Because, like, on paper, I don't think it's a bad idea for them to have started funding their own anime. It would have been a much smarter idea if they started just by funding the anime overseas. And then you can start making in-house some anime. And you know, you should be poaching creators from Japan. I know Japan's not gonna like me saying that, but like, even if you just get one guy, it's better than putting together a team of a bunch of people who have no idea what the fuck they're doing. You need people with experience in this field if you're gonna be doing it on your own. And that's the thing. Nobody had experience that they were hiring. They ended up having to, like, rely on all these, like, freelance animators to do most of the work. That is way too big of a shoe. Don't worry, I'll fix it. I won't even need future Dannphan. I can fix it now. Oh my god, so big shoe. Stupid ass fucking Sora round ass shoes. I gotta flatten these out, that's what it is. Now it's almost good, and that's close enough. Future Dannphan will fix it. She's great. She's so good at art, Future Dannphan is. Me, not so much. So we'll just rely on her for everything. Need another wrinkle here. There you go. Alright, we got something cooking. I kind of don't like how much his leg is like crossing this way. But this is generally the gesture that I need. Yeah, the lamppost PNG. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable, guys. They had a lot of gumption. I almost appreciate the balls, honestly. Almost. Not even really quite all the way, but there's almost like something admirable about being so confident in your work that you just go, fuck it. Put a stock image in there. It don't matter. And of course. But very funny. This is getting like some sort of fisheye lens going on here with this dagger. I kinda like it though, even though it makes no sense. Can I break the rules a little bit and just leave that looking like that? Will the art police come to get me? There's the dagger. I drew the dagger. Oh, I didn't draw his belts. He's got fucking 3 belts. Why did I give this guy 3 belts? Top 10 regrets. 3 belts. At one point I was like, fuck it, for book 2, I'm only giving him 2 belts. That'll be why it's called book 2. He only got 2 belts. But then it didn't look quite as right. So I was like, nah. Gotta give him 3. Because of the Trinity. That's why. Just my fucking hacky reasons for why the number of belts is the way that it is. Oh god. You ever think like a real artist might see like these streams and I'm just driving them mad by all the things I'm doing wrong? I think the most anti-ASMR art stream you can do is just constantly drawing on the wrong layer. That would drive me insane. Just constant. Or drawing everything on the same layer and just never adding a new one. But that's a little bit ballsy, you know? Actually, I kind of take that back. That's a little bit ballsy. It's almost like a challenge run. It's the paper experience, basically. Alright, we got belts. And we put his dagger sheaths being knocked around in the background. Can't make them too big. I'll get those extra lines. Nobody's gonna be able to even see this. am I adding? I'm adding extra lines for, trying to make this extra fancy, put the stitching in. Nobody's gonna see this. The panel's like... The actual character is only this big on the page. What am I doing? Alright. Oh, that's right. For a second I was like, oh no, I didn't draw like his harness across here, but that's actually fine because he's not wearing it in this scene. He took it off, which is why he's holding the sword. Sometimes even I surprise myself in my genius. Like, ah, I already thought about this. Perfect. See, I moved the leg up, so now everything is a little bit off, but it's better with the leg up, so I'll just adjust accordingly. Oh no, it's all flat. I lost all my line. Lost all my curvature, and I moved everything. Okay, try this again. I gotta go draw the sword. Alright, there we go. Better. Alright, yeah, just draw the sword and then that'll be it for the line art for Ichabod, assuming that you can still see the screen. Yeah, no more law, the more belts means the more mana the character has. Oh, absolutely. It's like, what is it? Is it Kingdom Hearts logic, or is it just... Ah, jeez. I drew the sword like this. This is a terrible sketch of the sword. I probably figured, oh, well, it's gonna be so tiny, so it'll look fine. Future Dannphan will take care of this one. Ugh. Past Dannphan is such a douche. These. Yeah, okay, let's... We cook. Trickiest thing about this is that it's getting like a little bit bigger, but it's also getting smaller because of the perspective. So it's trickier than it looks. Oh, Dannphan, try using like the perspective tool and something. I prefer drawing perspective when I get to make everything the fuck up. There's that perfect meme that basically describes every artist. It's like almost every artist. Anyways. It's like the meme of the guy with his girlfriend, and he turns to look at another girl. And she's looking at him like, ah, how could you? You know? Fucked up. Don't you ever do that to your girlfriend, guys at home. Calling you all out. But then people put text over it, and that's the really funny part. And there's this one that describes a lot of artists where it's like his girlfriend has the text of learning perspective, and then the girl that he's looking at, like, ooh, it just says, making it the fuck up. And then her perspective is also, like, all fucked up. And that's how I feel about perspective. Ah, God. You see, this looks fine, but it's also too tiny. And it's too tiny because the original drawing is kinda also too tiny. Let me just lasso this and make it bigger. I did draw it a little bit tinier than the original drawing, but like, come on. Original drawing was also tiny. Give me a break. It's a little bit better. Still not 100%. I don't want it to like... I also don't want it to get in the way of his leg gesture. The things that you need to balance as a comic artist. I hope that you actually see what I'm talking about and it's not a blank screen. Otherwise, I really am just rambling like a madwoman. Fuck, dude. Ooh. Oh, it's so close to the boot. Okay, I think that's better. Okay. Alright, we have something here. We cook. It's gonna be the new we stand, but instead it's just we cook. We cook. Yep. Ugh. Alright, we got something. This is like so weird fucking complicated shit. Something like this. And it's a little bit fancier. Turn that around. Does this look acceptable? Fucking fine. Fine, it's gonna be like 1,000,000 meters away. This is, oh, it's okay. Alright, it's not the best thing ever. It's also like super thick. You don't need the lines that thick. It's because I lasted it and just increased size. Okay. Ugh, something really bugging me about that circle being too goddamn big. It's a little bit more. Sometimes I just click on something and it doesn't do. Manga, have you ever, Dan, have you, man, we're going dyslexic tonight. Oh, here we go. I'll have dyslexia tonight. Yeah, I would like to not be able to read anything. Thank you. Garçon. Dan, have you ever read the manga Stravaganza? It's about a young queen that keeps her identity secret from her kingdom by wearing a knight's helmet. Yes, I own the first volume. Udon sent that to me, actually. And I still have it. I did a review for them. I enjoyed what I read of the first volume. It's a very old, classic kind of manga feel to it. And the monsters are also pretty cool. At least from that first volume. I don't know where it goes in the future, honestly. I wanted to read more, but I just, just forgot about it, I guess. Till you brought it up right now. But I do have the first volume, and it's gorgeous. Very nice. Now there are belts on this thing, but I'm thinking that his hand would probably be covering the belts. And also, he's only this big on the page. Probably shouldn't be thinking too intensely on how he's gonna look. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's all detail we need. There we go. There's the line art for the full page. Woo! There's the line art. Looks good. I didn't do the chicken. I didn't. I'll do the chicken later. I'll do the chicken before I start doing the tones. And then I'll figure out what is gonna go on with the monster's hand here. Because I'm thinking it should go over the hair. This one should go under the head and look like it's wrapping around her. I think that would be pretty sick. I can almost see why you're bringing up Extravaganza now. The monster kind of looks like those furry monsters from the manga, the first volume. Kind of reminds me of those furry beasts. What were they called again? I forget. But it's kind of like the same sort of, well, I'm drawing like all this extra furry effect because I'm trying to make it look like quills. But for the manga, they were just like supposed to be very poofy creatures. And they were upright. They were like kind of more ape-like, but also furry. Big furry apes, I guess. Mine is a little bit more hedgehog meets weasel, but it does kind of look like that. Yeah, at least the face. The face kind of reminds me of those monsters. Has the same like idea of a big circly white eye behind furry face. All right, so I'll do like kind of a zoom in pass by. And kind of see what the process was here. Let's start at the foot. I'll do the chicken and hand later. Trust me, I just don't feel like doing it right now. We've been streaming for 3 hours, give me a break. Monster was fun. But then again, I also did like kind of low detail on the quills. Just kind of sketchy. And then Ichabod and Riken running after her. There we go. Obviously the best part of the page right here. And that's what we got done. That's what we got done tonight. I'll do more later. I am tired. Kind of hungry. I didn't really have dinner or lunch. Probably need protein. But that's what we got for tonight. Thanks for joining in on another Drawing with Dannphan. Reaper Book 2, where this page is going to be used. Reaper is going to be funding March 25th. You're not going to want to miss it. Why see Snow White when you can back Reaper Book 2, am I right, guys? And we'll prepare for another drawing stream in the future. Maybe we'll have to finish this page before moving on to the next. Maybe that's the rule I should set for myself. We'll see. But yeah, thank you for joining me on well, it's not, I was going to say a fantastic Friday, but it's not Friday. A terrific Tuesday. Yeah. Let's go with that. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you next time Oh, then you'll see me for the video that's gonna upload tomorrow. All right, everybody. Good night. Goodbye.